welcome back to tonight's sad reality. Oh my gosh, it has been a minute and a half, but I have a lot to talk about. In fact, I'm going to be doing a really mid speedrun of this, because the last time I did speedrun was forever ago, gosh. But I was in a car crash kind of recently, and it sucked. Oh my gosh. I remember when it happened, I also need to adjust my timer. Well, I need to adjust the timer. It's probably enough. The location's fine. That's time lost. Fun spent adjusting it. Dodge the rocks here. But yeah, so this game honestly doesn't require that many brain cells from me, thankfully, so I can actually talk while playing it, because I used to play this all the time in middle school. In fact, it's one of my absolute favorite games out there for literally no reason. I remember the night I was in a car crash. Oh my gosh. So guess what? The guy was drunk driving. That's one of my favorite things in the world. And believe it or not, so after the whole thing, he was arrested. DUI .19 is what he blew. So I was going to take a left, and oh boy, he just came flying behind me, rear-ended me, 20 to 30 miles per hour, I think. It was just after an intersection, and I was going to turn left, waiting for oncoming traffic to, like, do their thing. But yeah, so safe to say that happened, and I was a little bit pissed off. Let me do the best to do the story from the beginning, the very beginning, and not leave any details out. So, I hate my job in retail. I'm kind of at that point where I'm like, I'm just kind of over it now, especially all the stuff I'm going to talk about later in this video. This is going to be a long video. Oh, I forgot about the mimic there. Oh my gosh, that thing screws me so much. Am I on easy difficulty? I don't think, no, because the color would be different. I thought that thing instant killed you, but maybe it did in another version, or like the old version. Sadly, this is Cave Story Remastered. Regardless, retail's been kind of sucking lately, and I'll get into that later. But so I'm driving home. I'm not exactly going slowly, but I am obeying the laws of the road and all that. And I'm just kind of pissed off from stuff in general, but you know, that didn't exactly help. Is that a visual fragment in the background? Can't tell if there's screen tearing or if that's maybe just that texture looks weird there. Anyone else see that? It's like where the chain meets the block. Is it Orico? It's been so long. I know his name is King. On 2 HP, this is so peak. And yeah, I got rear-ended and it sucked. I was not happy about it. Literally, I think first, so it happened at 8:40 p.m. I remember all this down to a T because I don't know. I'm weird like that, I guess. I've been told, like, my boss's boss gave me a look when I told him. I was like, oh yeah, the APR on our credit card at Dick's Sporting Goods went down by 0.25%. He was like, how do you know that? I was like, I don't know, I read things, I guess, and I remember. It's like reading comprehension. And is this what we go to college for? Like, no, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Is it down here first? Screw the map, because I already know about all the things anyways. You can die to her, fun fact. Celsius has invincibility frames until she makes it to the right side of the screen. I would know, because I played this game way too much. Unless she can't hit you. There, do like 1 damage. I'm also going to refuse to fight him, because I'm trying to go fast, kind of. It's not really that much of a speedrun, it's just a guy playing a game and ranting about why life kind of sucks. Welcome back to tonight's sad reality, or the weekly sad. It's been a while. Anyways, so regardless, it happened at 8:40. 8:41, first thing I do is talk to my parents. I'm like, hey, I got in an accident. And I think the exact same minute I call the, you want to fight? No. Leave me be, Balrog. You borrow soap and or lunchbox and or whatever you're supposed to be. He looks more like a lunchbox, but I think he was supposed to be modeled after Japanese soap is what I heard. I'm not sure though, because this game literally came out 6 months after I was born, back in 2004, December, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, I'm a trivia guy now, I guess, too. Welcome back to tonight's trivia reality. Oh boy, it's been a while since I've played a game that I both enjoy and can talk and kind of focus, although clearly I'm not focused enough. You know, I'm gonna damage boost this, I don't really care. Also, I really should have leveled up my gun here, but I guess we're gonna do that here in the next zone. Yeah. Speedrun? Who's speedrunning? Not me. Slow run. call the non-emergency line. I think within between 8:42 and 8:43, the guy pulls over, and he's like, "Hey, you all right?" Whatever. I'm like, "Yeah, you all right?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then literally the first thing he does is he offers to pay for it. And I'm like, "Okay, slow your roll, Buster. I don't trust you. I mean, I didn't say this obviously, but this is what I'm thinking. I have trust issues if that's not obvious, if like everyone does in this day and age. But I do not I do not trust. I do not do the trust. Trust is not my kind of drug. Especially with another story I'm gonna talk about later in this video. But so he offers to pay for it, which I think's weird, but I can also tell that I think he's just trying to get out of stuff. He has this glassy look in his eyes, and I'm like, oh boy, your guy's probably smoking the illegals, the stuff, the fun, you know. I don't know, I couldn't smell alcohol in him to begin with, but like, what I could see is his eyes were glassy, and then when eventually he got out of his car later, we pulled into the Walgreens, like, right next to wherever. Like, thankfully, when all this happened, it was literally, I think, like a 10-minute jog away from my house almost, so like maybe a mile or two max. So I forgot this guy had like a charging animation. I've never seen that. So we don't sit here and level, but welcome back to my slow run, I guess. I need to stop making this joke, it's getting boring. At some point, he's like, yeah, do you just want to exchange, like, you know, information, go separate ways? And I'm like, no, I think that is literally illegal. I mean, like, I don't know, I'm a 21-year-old. Hit and run, I think is what, like, is that a felony, I think, if he does that? But if we both agree to it, is it really a crime? Crime is legal, all that nonsense. I love our American government, but, I'm just like, no, let's do this the right way, let's report stuff. I'm thinking he's trying to bail. It's not super obvious, but he's very much, kind of not sitting still. I know it's definitely his fault, but at least he admits to it. He's, you know, trying to do the best he can, although he very much lied to the officers when they eventually get there. But I think literally over half an hour later, the officers finally get there, and I'm thinking, wow, y'all can't do shit in retail. Like, y'all can't get to the place and stop people from stealing. Guess you can't do your jobs elsewhere. Which really is not the opinion I should have of authority figures, but at the same time, I'm kind of over it. I missed the jump. I'm so bad at this game. Does this save time later? Does this lose time? I actually don't know. Like, is this any percent viable? I'm going for the true ending anyways, and there's a lot of damage boosting, so like it'll make its own time back. Also, I was watching a lot of Easy Speezy videos recently. I gotta say, mad respect to, I guess, optimizing literally everything that could possibly happen. I know it's not like fully optimized for all the games he plays, but he does a pretty good job, I'd say. So I think it's number 6 I want to go into first. We're going to wait for the thing to go cycle once, cycle back, go off screen a little bit, and so my mom, I call her up and, you know, helicopter parent, but this is like one of the few times where I can really appreciate it. I also like the heart block there. Hidden blocks are cool. There's a lot in this game, especially the one I'm going to probably do later is for the memes. But, she gets there, she's doing all the parenting stuff and taking pictures, doing stuff. She's, I don't know, Thanksgiving just happened, you know, and you're sitting there with family and you're like, we have opinions of each other, but we choose not to say these opinions because it makes the world go a little bit faster if we just put on a nice face and don't say things. But, treasure chest, missile launcher, yippee! Probably the best DP I've ever done. I don't know if it's because I'm tired or what. Do I sound tired? Do I sound more energetic than usual? Maybe a little bit of both. But, we're gonna get a little bit extra XP in here. I remember when I first played the game, I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna use the Polar Star, it's easy to use, I don't want to do anything else. And then I, like, actually start playing the game, and I'm like, oh my gosh, the missile launcher is kind of good. Why didn't I just use the missile launcher? My friend was like, I told you, and I'm like, okay, I guess you did tell me. Anyways, doing parenting thing, and yeah, she ends up sticking it through with the guy way after I leave, because the officer tells me I'm good to go, and the first thing I tell the officer when he gets there, funny enough, it's actually 2 bald guys, 2 bald cops. I don't know if it's, like, I think No Shave November's a thing, or like, I don't know, but they're both bald, and I noticed this. I'm like, hey, yeah, so he rear-ended me, just tell him exactly what happened, and I think he's probably had a little bit of alcohol, because I could smell it on him. My guy went into the Walgreens not once but twice to smoke a pack of cigs, I think. I don't know if he just smoked twice, but he was smoking a lot. Like, I could smell it coming in through my window. I had my window open for most of basically just sitting there. Probably should level the missile launcher. There we go. Also, fun fact in this game, so there's a projectile cap, so you can only have, I think, like, depending on the weapon anyways, usually it's like 2 projectiles on screen, depending on, down here, this funny cutscene, right? Add it to the sneeze count. So yeah, you want to be as close to the monster as possible, or the enemy, whatever, so you can load as many projectiles and then as fast as possible, basically. If you're closer, the projectile spawns and despawns faster, whereas if you were to be at a further distance, you can only have... There's more time between basically firing a projectile, so even if you had the fastest middle finger in the west, like, I think, yeah, I'm spamming DNX right now, but yeah, if you spam X to fire, it's kind of limited by how close you are to the enemies. Regardless, yeah, so that was a fun night. I hated that. The past few nights, too, I had trouble sleeping between that, and then, what was it, after that, I think that it was that day and the day before, I just had a pretty, like, not fun headache, so I was very much looking forward to the rest of the week. But thankfully, I had today and yesterday off, although, we're gonna talk about my boss here in a second when we talk about time off, but, yeah, so that was the car accidents. My takeaways from it, and this is something that kind of bothers me a lot intrinsically, is what I've noticed in the great big world that we live in, the people that cause problems in retail are the same type of people causing problems out on the road. Now that said, funny enough, I have a lot of coworkers who, well, one who has a DUI, another who's done all sorts of fun things on the road. People have been racing each other, dead deers, all sorts of fun stories I'll be talking about on the main channel eventually, but that's not tonight. I kind of recognize, like, nobody's a good driver in this world, but at the same time, like, man, could we not, like... to me, it seems like there's a culture to some people, and, they're more inclined to end up drinking and also driving, I don't know, and or harassing people in retail. That's just what I've noticed. Please call me whatever mean words you'd like to. This channel's not big enough to get canceled yet. But you can probably get what I'm hinting at here. Next story. So, after the last video, sick day or whatever, I wanted to talk about my boss for a little bit, but then obviously a lot of stuff happened between now and then, so, like, I'm kind of doing this all in one video because it's easier, and I like this game, and I want to sit here and play this game again. I don't know if you saw the save files at the beginning of the game, but legit the last time I played this, I think it was 2025, I deleted the save file at the bottom. But the first time I played it, or at least this version, was 2022, and I played on every school laptop prior to that, so probably through 2021, maybe 2020. Yeah. I remember we were Peace Out, class of 2022, with, like, if you put your hands up, like, 22, it's Peace Out, the peace sign, or the double V sign, or whatever. I don't know if that's a bad thing or a weird thing. What am I even saying? Okay, so I get to work after being sick over the weekend and then, like, not filling in for another coworker who's having, like, pretty much a life crisis. And I'll just go ahead and say his mom died, I think. I don't know the cause, but it was something that they'd kind of been struggling with for about a week, and, yeah, that's not a fun thing. Also that coworker that I made a video about in the past, where I'm like, hey, this bro doesn't know how to do, like, anything right when it comes to the store. Shitty returns, all that. And I'm like, you know what, maybe you're incompetent, but I do feel bad for people. Like, you don't want to kick people while they're down. I don't know. What I've noticed is a lot of people nowadays don't have a heart, and I want to be the one exception, try to, and eventually become so desensitized to life and morals or everything else as we know it. That's not gonna happen anyways, but that's a whole other story. So, welcome back to Nightside Reality. So, I get to work after that, and, we're having our morning powwow, or whatever they call it. Oh my gosh, I timed that so poorly with the iframes. There goes literally all my health. If I die, it's gonna suck. I think these guys do exactly 2 damage. I'm just gonna go to his house and heal. I'm not bothering with the rest of that. And we're talking, whatever. My boss is like, hey, you know, do you know the funny numbers that we're supposed to get to? I'm like, yeah, if we hit 105% of our sales goals, we each get a bonus of 50 cents per hour. Ooh, boy. I'm so horrendously underpaid for the shit I have to deal with, which I'm gonna talk about. So I'm really entitled. Karen's here in a moment, but thanks for the help earlier. Here's the fireball. I think he's also the one... No, it's not him. He's got the charcoal in his fireplace, but the other fireplace in the house I'm probably not going to go into has the bubbler in it, which is like another kind of cool, kind of secret weapon that's not really that inherently useful in my opinion. Anyways, back to what I'm trying to talk about. Is this another YouTuber with ADHD? Not diagnosed or whatever. Oh, look at that, I actually killed him that time. Could have taken like 12 damage or whatever those guys do. I love the fireball. I'm a big fan of this weapon. It is very good for, I can't remember what it's called. It's like the metal scorpion thing in the desert. The world like literally directly after this. He can go up there. This is very much a speedrun still. Then after that, it's literally probably one of the weirdest things, but he goes up to me and he feels my face and he's like, you doing alright? I'm thinking, does HR need to hear about this one? Not actually, but like, it's just a thing people do when they're checking if someone has a fever or whatever. And I don't know if he thinks I'm the type of person to overwork myself or what, or whatever he's checking, or doesn't want to get me to get anyone else sick, but regardless, he's like, well, I'm glad you're back, glad you're feeling rested and ready, and go get some credit card. He didn't actually say that, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking he's thinking. That's cool, I guess. Like, there's a difference between, so this, and she comes over here, and there's another funny secret. So if you notice so far, whenever you pick up an item, there's like a click you hear. You sleep in the bed while she's in this position, you hear the click, and if you hit Q, you're like, whoa, whoa. And now she's asleep in the bed too. This game is tackling some really not... This channel is not for children. Okay, in all seriousness, I don't think it's for children anyways. But so, yeah, that's my boss, I guess. And, I don't know, just stuff really hasn't kind of been the same. Especially because, like, I know what he was like to me back during the holidays, and the answer is not good. It's no bueno. Now I think he's got a good work ethic and stuff. I just noticed that it seems like everyone kind of hates him. Not really, but like, he doesn't care about anyone outside of really their utility to him, which I can understand, I guess, being Mr. YouTube here and whatever. Like, he kind of gotta be business, and that's a thing, but I don't know. I wasn't treated the best during the holidays until I started getting metrics, and then wow, they start holding me up and praising me, and like, yo, you sold like 500 credit cards. I've sold like, I'm gonna guess like 580 this year. I'm really bad at keeping track of things that I don't really care about. Like, I can tell you the exact days I'm gonna release stuff on YouTube that's coming up, but when it comes to the number of credit cards I've sold, I don't care. And then we gotta go get the next jellyfish juice so we can extinguish the fire over here. We shoot the missiles going upwards again. You do it right at the side of this. You can proc him early. We're out of missiles. There we are. I can't remember if he's an instant kill. I want to say he just does a lot of damage. I think he's an instant kill though. Spam X. Win game. Also, those things on there, the red things, those are instant kills if you haven't played this game, you don't know. This game's full of those. The really the trick there is if you have iframes, you're fine, but you're gonna see in this next section, if you get knocked into those holes, you're not exactly gonna be able to jump out. So try to be a little bit careful, is I guess what I'm trying to say. Also, it used to drive me crazy how floaty the jumps were in this game too, because it's just not something I could really predict that easily. But now it's like something you get accustomed to, and you're just like, oh, that's cool. Get ready for that. I've always thought platformers are so cool to speedrun. I was watching Cosmic videos the other day, and he was like, we just broke more barriers and stuff, that's so cool. And then he was explaining like frame tech, and I'm like, okay, this is no longer English. I don't know, it's like background noise, I guess. That's locked. Oh yeah, I'm right. I'm trying to remember, because sometimes there's like what I call flagging, so if you don't talk to like the hole in the wall here and stuff like that, different things happen or don't happen. Here's the rusty key. And you figure out that it doesn't go to this door. I think you have to do all this dialogue. Break it down. Sometimes it's nice to also just take a break from the conversation, chill for a minute, take a deep breath, and be like, you know, I can say all that I want to about life, but I'm very fortunate for what it's worth. Some things can be hard, but I have it very well. Like my boss, over the holidays, you know, kind of push around, doing all the work nobody else wants to do. I swear there's screen tearing going on still. It's just like that line there in the middle. I don't know if it's just going to be visible on video, but perhaps it will be. Oh, I was trying to do this fireball, but this is why fireball crazy, because stuff like this. I'm doing this the really slow way. If this was boss rush, I'd be doing that okay well. Okay. I can also tell how much I have gotten worse at this game. Like, I didn't do any practice for this. The only thing I did before this video was literally just check the audio and make sure the timer wasn't like completely off screen. Because you can't full screen this game either. In fact, I have my Windows zoom setting to 100, where it's typically 200 because of the weird resolution this laptop's on. So it's just a bit of a nightmare. But it is, in fact, working, I hope. I still see the recording thing down there. I haven't run out of space yet, hopefully. Hopefully it won't happen in the middle of the recording either. Heal me, please. I am requesting health and missiles. Something, US politics. Where to from here? I gotta get this chest for the box of missiles. Alrighty, so where was I going conversationally? I had stuff written down too beforehand, so I might at some point just like pause and try to remember where I was going with stuff. Life capsule. The best way I can put things to my boss is that he will, if he needs something, it's kind of his way or the highway. This goes for anyone, people who've been working it for a while, people who have not been. In fact, he's very quick to shit-talk people behind their back. Also, you can just ignore this fight, I forgot. You can just be like, who needs to fight that? The beast. Wait, I need the gun-based key, hold on. A bomb? Oh, bomb? Gun-base. I was about to go through, like, that entire thing, and I'm like, oh, wait, I need a key. I was talking about with flagging earlier, too, to an extent, because you get over there and you're like, wait, it's locked. I'm so glad this is a game mechanic. This is super necessary to the lore that you need to get a key before exploring. I'm so good at platforming there. Like, a quick example, when I asked for time off this holiday to serve with my church, because literally working this job has... I haven't been to church in a minute. It just, you know, he's like, no, because we're busy, I need you, and I'm like, okay, well, that's great, I need time off too. And, literally, I think I have covered for people 7-8 times so far this year. I took one sick day. I took a vacation once in July, and that's it. And then, actually, I'm gonna read off the text I got to him while we're cutscening here. because it pisses me off so much. But so, what, Tuesday, he texts me, and I put through time off, earlier in the day, whatever, and he's like, I can't approve your time off, it's the busiest week of the entire year. And then he says, I would have expected you to say something to me about this today, versus just seeing the time off request in my email. And I'm thinking, I did mention this to you earlier, you just don't actually give a shit about anyone else, and when people ask for time off, you don't really do it. But, you know, I would never say that, because we have to pretend to be nice and do whatever we're told to in this world. I love Fireball. Sit here and just drain the HP out of these goobers. Read out the rest of the text after the boss, the mini-boss, the frogs. If he's there, I can jump over him, or I could have just iframed it through the other frogs, but whatever, that works. Good enough. And then I say back to him, I'm like, John, I mentioned this to you 1 to 2 weeks ago. You told me this was fine back then. I mentioned it so I could help with my church with televised networking, because they ask this for me every year. So that's the same thing last year. I feel like this isn't something new to him exactly. I try to put this through like Workday, Legion, whatever. It's like the apps that everyone uses for work. I was in the US, and it was down. Like I'd already mentioned this to him a while ago. It's just the reason I hadn't put it in was because of that. So I'm like, hey, this is kind of shitty, you know, like, maybe let's keep our word for a second here. But yeah, the rest of my text was like, yeah, that, sorry for the delay in following up there, but I already did mention it to you in person. I know scheduling can be difficult this time of year, so my apologies for impeding the effort. Which, here's the thing, I can communicate with people and, like, be very soft if I feel like it's nice to try to be nice to people, I guess, but at the same time I'm thinking, you actual, like, man-child, please just do the right thing. And then he sends back, no, you just said Christmas Eve, and I'm thinking, okay, well, it's, you know, reaffirming my belief about the man-child thing. But, yeah, I just, like, you're a guy who's literally here covering for everyone else because they're getting sick, and by sick, I mean hungover and don't feel like coming into work, and doing all this other stuff that literally nobody else wants to do, and by definition, doing the rest of the job that nobody else is doing, because nobody else is selling cards here, even though I guess we're kind of supposed to, even though we're not really told to in training, whatever. It's just very obvious to me that there's not a care in the world about those people. We're just kind of here as tools. And then I send back to him, I'm like, hey, if it works better for you, could we sit down and discuss this sometime, maybe? I feel like there's a lot more to discuss than just time off, so this is probably a good idea. And then he sends back, sure, sir, I'm gonna give you what you were asking from a time off perspective anyways. When I sit down with him, we're gonna have a very long talk, and by long talk, I mean it's gonna be all sorts of fun things. I've actually been thinking about this for a while. Kind of the phrase that's been echoing in my mind is, what makes a good leader? You know? And I know it's a really dumb thing to ask your boss, of all people, but, I mean, dead ass, I'm gonna go in there and say, hey, John, what do you think makes a good leader? And I don't know what his response is going to be, but I know exactly what I'm gonna say, and it's, a shepherd knows the condition of his flock. That's not a hard thing to do. Now, something that my boss said to me forever ago was, the reason I've kept going with retail, even though sometimes the customers are shitty, is because I know my team has my back. I'm starting to think, really? Really? These people will have your back, because I know I wouldn't. I know you don't give two shits about me, and I know most other people don't either. And here's what I have to say about that, or here's what I know. I didn't break them out, did I? Wait, did I? Did I do that whole cutscene? Did I forget? Oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. I just ran through that entire thing without doing the thing I was supposed to. This is what I get for being distracted. Not the egg corridor. This is literally, like, restart territory in a speedrun. You just forget to progress the story. I would say very much deserved, because I'm talking about stuff like this, and forgetting to do, like, the important parts of the run, but anyways, the story, the show must go on. So, most of the people that I know don't want to stick around for forever. Most of the people that I know who have been there for a while have been saying, hey, we're gonna be leaving soon. It's been nice knowing you, John, but, like, you know, it's not like retail's fun. We hate the customers hate us. And, this is the cycle of life, I guess. Not like it's a fun thing, but it's the way it goes. And what my manager said, do I quote her? Do I drop F-bombs on this channel? Maybe I do. Because I've got a new job opportunity. That's something I'm gonna be talking about here soon in a bit too. But she was like, yeah, fuck John. Who cares? I mean, he doesn't care about any of us. And I know my manager as well. I haven't told her this, but my boss goes out of his way to basically shit talk her every minute of his like whatever, because he doesn't like see her that often. So he's like, okay, if something went wrong, it was probably her because I haven't seen her do stuff. Meanwhile, she's literally, I think. Oh, I need to go get the jellyfish. Oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. That's why I was still going backwards. I need the jellyfish juice. Okay. And I'm just like, what a world we live in, you know? The people that do the most get the least credit for it. And then I died of mines. Amazing. Where did I save last? What items? Back here? Great, okay. Time lost is just time saved for the next speedrun. Although I'm probably not speedrunning this again on this channel for obvious reasons. Yeah, it's just a world that we live in. The guy said that, you know, lost his mom recently. He says he's like, you know, I might go back to college and like do stuff, you know? He says he felt like his life's kind of been going nowhere, and I don't really blame him, you know? I mean, stuff like that happens, it kind of rocks your world, but not beyond that. Like, what are we doing stuck here in retail? Especially when we have so many shitty customer interactions, all this other stuff. Like, the truth is, I hate people. I hate the world we live in. I hate a lot of this stuff. And that's not... I just forget the jellyfish thing again. Oh my gosh. This is not like a bit or a gag. This is literally just me being incompetent. And then I wonder why I belong in retail. Okay, so we go back over here. We're gonna focus. We're gonna hit this guy with the missile launcher. We're gonna try to. We're gonna try to curve it around the side, because it's not... Well, now it's level 3. Please come down here, sir. I need your juices. Thank you. Bomb factory. We're making... Okay, YouTube, please be kind. It's always funny, because I'll see people be like, oh yeah, this video got demonetized for such and such, and then, like, it was a joke, and then I'll see Clash Royale YouTubers talking about heinous things. And I'm like, okay, well that's, you know, that's that. But yeah, so it's... I don't like retail. People I've noticed aren't the best. The world we live in a fallen world. We wonder why people go on and do bad things when we're all living in sin, and that's just because when you expect sinners not to sin, the sinning sinners are gonna sin, or someone, the pastor said whatever. It's not a perfect world. We can't expect it to be. But certainly we can make opportunities, and we gotta go where God's telling us to. The day that, like, all that happened with my boss via text, whatever, I was in the car and I was praying. I was like, hey God, so I've got this job opportunity coming up for, you know, like 100 grand a year, whatever. I know John really wants me here, but I also know that I really want to be here. But if you say I ought to be here, then I will be, you know, because it's not really for me to decide. And often when you listen to God, you know, you kind of, stuff works out a little bit better usually. Regardless, for me, the two signs were that, and then him giving me shit in his office literally that same day for doing something that I thought was the right call at the time, and that was stepping away from the front end because a customer, again, Karen, was off her meds or whatever, which I'm gonna go ahead and talk about that. So, gosh, was this Monday? Was this is this the weekend? I can't remember. My memory's not the best, but... And quote me when I go to court for something, because that's... We need to make this guy, so nobody believes anything he said. Oh, it sounds schizophrenic yet. So many thoughts all at once. And save points, missiles, save here. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. And then... Use that motorcycle, it's funny. I don't know why they made his teeth stick out on the sprite here, because I swear he used to look like a little bit better in the older version, but I don't know. Can't remember, is it Nicholas is the studio that made this one? But I think they have like a reputation for not doing the best at games or something. Something. Everyone's gonna complain about stuff. which also, I finished watching Stranger Things tonight, and I thought it was pretty good. I actually don't have any complaints other than, like, a few small things, like, a literal beer bottle doing more damage to a Demogorgon than, like, hundreds, if not probably thousands of bullets, which I thought was a little ridiculous. Or maybe it was a pause for dramatic effect by the Demogorgon. Then we gotta watch, my dad's looking for a new show because we finished early, Thanksgiving tonight, and, he's like, hey, you wanna try the Witcher show? And I'm like, okay, I'll look up some reviews for it, because I feel like there's a lot of garbage on Netflix, and, every single review is trashing it. Everyone's like, nope, this is so bad, the plot's bad, the story's bad, the writing's bad, the one thing that carries is the main character. And even then, I think, according to some review I've read in 2023, he left the show, which should say a lot about it. Funny enough, that's what one of my coworkers said about me leaving work. If I do end up getting a new job, that'll say a lot about the state of our store when the one guy who shows up more than anyone else decides he's got better places to be. Actually, here, a bonus story. This is something I wasn't going to cover in this video, but it happened, I think, last night. I was talking with one of my homies from work, and I would say he's a bit more than a homie because we were literally born the same day. We know each other since preschool, and yeah. Now, I think he's great. We're both do YouTube. He's a streamer. He's done more than I have in the Twitch space, whatever. As far as YouTube goes, I've done a little bit more than he has, and I don't know. But as far as work goes, also, yeah, conversation, kind of mini cutscene thing here. I'm like, I swear, if I miss any other flagging, I'm gonna lose it. The doctor has found the location of the red flowers. The lore that I'm skipping all of because I'm speeding through all this text here by spamming Z and X, which hopefully the microphone hasn't been picking it this whole time. God, it's already been 36 minutes of me talking. Viewer retention's gonna go crazy on this video. Sorry, I'm just trying to slow down here for a minute, so... This, sand zone, this, I don't know what you think. And now we're in go mode. I was talking with him, and as far as work goes, he's good at his job. He doesn't just do the bare minimum like some of my other, we'll call them diversity hire coworkers who very much do the bare minimum. But he's kind of what my other coworkers say is a bit of a drone, and you know, I don't really blame him for being that way when the customers treat us like we do, or like they do. But truth is, I feel like he kind of gets shit on a lot behind his back, and I don't think he really deserves it, especially when he is called out a few times, but at least he's not showing up hungover to work, except one time. But, you know, we both turned 21, and he wanted to have a drink, and I still haven't drank yet, funny enough, despite being of age. I'm in the Amiga side, and we have an epic battle. I do this correctly. Please don't die, please don't die. There we are. Like, this isn't boss rush, I can't just tank everything, but it'd be really funny if I did. I mean, in this game you kind of can face tank things if you know exactly. No, I do not plan on that. Do not give me your machine gun. I know that's like the speedrun thing, but I'm using the spur. So-called memory loss, or polar star. No. Although you can literally fly with the machine gun, so that's kind of cool, I guess. No, it's not here. It's in the next room over. Actually, first I gotta talk to this guy, I think. Yeah, this. See, this is the speedrun strats you're here. Nope. Not accidentally talking to Pearly Brace again, which if you haven't picked up by now, the main character's name's Quote. He is a scouting robot. She is also a robot. And this is a secret. This, jump up one thing. I'm so glad this is in the game. Why? Glad to know that the devs are horny too. Anyways, but also fun fact, if you kill the next boss with this dog on your back, you get an achievement called Doggy Style, so that's so very clever. But anyways, this coworker of mine, we were talking last night, and I was like, hey, you know, stuff at work's kind of falling apart, and he's like, yeah, you know, I try not to get sucked into drama and all that. And I'm like, yeah, I try not to either, but sometimes stuff happens, and by stuff I mean my boss. and there's not really much we can do about that, but keep moving forward, I suppose. And we're just talking, I'm like, hey, I feel like I've kind of done a disservice to you, because truth is, people haven't been the best friend to you. I haven't been the best friend to you, because I haven't really told people to shut up about talking trash about each other. And yeah, I'm just like, man, we live in a world full of lies and deceit and gross people, you know? It sucks. I hate these crocodiles. See, the trick here... There we go. Oh, actually, did I screw this up? No, this is still doable. There's also hearts up here that I'm gonna try to grab. So we could do this, there's a block up here, this. And free bonus hearts that I don't actually really need that much. But if y'all take the top path here, it's a little bit faster. All this I actually learned not by watching any speedruns, but just by, like, I guess experimenting. I like this game because I kind of figured out so much stuff on my own, like actually playing it instead of looking everything up. I feel like nowadays I kind of spoil stuff for myself, and I'm like, well, it's not as fun as it could have been, but maybe it's faster, I guess. And we live in a world that's kind of saturated by that mentality and wonder why everything feels so bland nowadays. I'm just gonna fireball power through this. I'll say this is Monster X, but no, this is not Monster X. I don't remember the name of this guy, though. I just know that he moves the sunstones or something. Spam X as fast as possible. I swear this game I should have like tinnitus or something from it, but it has not happened yet. The guy lands on you, but it hurts. I'm doing this so slowly. There we go. Yeah, he said he's probably going to be transferring to another store soon, too, and I'm like, hey, honestly, man, good for you. Wish the best. And life's not perfect, but here we are, you know? That's channel, I guess, in some ways. But I feel like we lose honesty, we lose ourselves. I feel like in working this job, I have lost so much of my character, if I had character to begin with. I mean, like the whole, hey, if, you know, people are stealing, you just kind of let it go. This intrinsically bothers me. I feel like you see something like that, you're like, hey, let's not do that. I mean, I feel like the whole mentality of like stand up for people, whatever, it died long ago, I guess. The world we live in now, it's full of awful garbage. Wow, tonight's episode's gonna be really depressing. And wow, I barely dodged that. Like literally, if I'd spent 2 seconds more patient on that jump, I would have been totally fine. I was fine because I got lucky, but it's funny, I suppose. We're gonna go this way. Oh, good job, me. On the right side, there's ways to farm the gun back to level. And she yaps for a million years. A red flower. That's from lunchbox and or bar of soap, whatever. Maybe it's a mistranslation. Maybe it really was a lunchbox, but someone wrote it down as like bar of soap, and I'm describing that from something else. I don't know. You'll be sorry. Imagine being like threatened by Kool-Aid Man. Absolute cinema. So, yeah, it kind of to wrap everything around. People are deceptive. Life's not exactly great. But where's my boss in all this? Well, he was like, you know, my team is my back. And I'm like, do they? Do they really know? Because like when my manager, aka like one of the key holding leads, says like you can kind of go, you know, F off or whatever. Maybe that's not a good thing, you know, for consideration. Wait, did I already get the dog? I forgot to go back up. Actually, there's a dog down here. I'll do this one. Also platforming, like intellect, I guess, or something. That wasn't good, but it'll do. That'll do. There we go. Now we do this. Oh, he jumped. I thought my timing was good enough, but maybe it wasn't. That. Oh, come on. I mean, that's literally kind of the point of this segment, is just to screw around with the dog, but... There we go. Also, I think it's interesting that there's, like, simulated recoil from some enemies, like the birds and stuff. Like, I don't know if it was like a weight system or the physics, but I think the guy who made this game made the engine that he used to make the game, and he also made the engine to make the music. Maybe I'm talking out of my butt, but perhaps this is a fun fact, perhaps this is incredibly inaccurate. Find out if you literally just search on Google. Like, this isn't a video essay tuber, this is just a guy pissed off by the world he lives in talking, so I'm not exactly your most credible source. But so what do you do in a situation like this? Like, do you like kind of go nuclear and you're like, you know, I quit, blah 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 blah, this sucks, you suck, whatever. I'm like, no, I feel like he needs guidance, I guess. I feel like a lot of people do, and I would rather at least sit down and be like, hey, maybe if you kind of knew what was going on in people's lives, maybe you'd respect them a little bit more. One of the things that really bothered me, too, because I know how, like, my boss, he will glaze the mess out of me, like, flattery this, flattery that, and that's cool and all, like, I get it, people like getting sucked off or whatever, but, like, could we, well, not only just tone it down, because sometimes it feels gross, but, not getting, like, it's not literal, I should probably clarify. So, cutscene, yay, spam DMX. The way he used to treat me back in the holidays, I'm like, he's still the same person he's been. I know this to be the case. I'd kind of rather just kind of cut the BS there and just tell it as it is, especially when he's like, you can't take time off from work. I'm like, really? You want to test me? I've got another job lined up. I probably shouldn't be telling you about this, because then you're going to treat me worse, but like, I'm not afraid of that either. And like, another thing too that's kind of been sitting on my chest, something that I'm like, hey, this is probably, I mean, other than being, I think, literally illegal, being prepared to lie to corporate to basically do whatever you need to do, that's, like, great and all for your own sake, I guess, but, maybe consider that other people actually have morals and, won't just go along and play along with the things you want to say, especially when those people you don't exactly treat the best. Case in point, back forever ago, he was like, hey, so if they ever ask you, if, you know, about career development, because a lot of companies nowadays, they really struggle keeping talent, maintaining the people that, like, literally built the place ground up, especially from a metric standpoint. The way they do this career development are basically, hey, if you stick around with us, we'll pay you more eventually. Because right now my bonuses are looking like, you know, $10 cups of coffee every now and again, and stealing stuff from the break room, I guess. But I remember this because it's up here. Is it up here? To the right. This. Like, there's a map and all that, but if you just remember it, it's not that difficult. Unless you make it difficult. Like me, and you forget the jellyfish juice like 8 times earlier. Like, I think any percent, honestly, would have already... would they be done by now? I don't actually know. They'd be really close to being... Yeah, I think they could actually never be done by now. No, I can't... It's in the 50s, or is it... something? I think it's sub-hour, I think, for this game. Regardless, so... That's kind of what's been going through my mind lately. If you have any ideas what to do, drop it in the comments, because I would love to know that it's not... The internet's supposedly like 60% bots or something, so putting this out there, it's gonna really make a difference to people who are going through the same thing. Sure, all 60% of the bots out there. And you know, if this ever ends up in something, I'll be like, wow, I thought the internet was mostly bots, so my apologies for thinking it actually affected anyone. It's my favorite lying, I guess. Life's all sorts of messed up, and that's fine, you know? Yeah, so back to the other stuff I was reading off. Kind of the way I was going to explain it, too. I came up with this bit of an analogy, a metaphor, whatever. It feels like if you find someone who you realize is incredibly competent and or can do the job that nobody else can, and then you put them in an environment where nobody else succeeds, you think eventually over time they're going to kind of lose any will that they had to do well when they're minimalistically rewarded for it. And that's not the analogy. What I was going to actually say with that was the blind prospector and a bunch of rusty tools. It's bird. The bird. No bird. Screw you, Jaden Animations. Your birds suck. Isn't Ari one of those bird names? Also, I'm low-key a little focused right now. And by focused, let's just say, oh, taking damage, I guess. Hello, fireball. Okay, this is the one section where I'm like, if you had the bubbler, it would actually be kind of useful. These guys have 20 HP, I think 20... Like, if you just don't bump into them, you're fine. The other thing I've discovered is you can just spam missiles, and that kind of solves everything. I learned this one from the US military. Yeah, so it kind of seems like what we have with work anyways is a bunch of, or corporate or my boss, whatever, people that don't fully, I'm not sure if they don't care, but the whole blind prospector is, you take someone who, as a hiring manager or whatever, you are to literally appraise people and say this is what they're worth, you know? And with my workplace, it feels like, again, because if I think as far as credits cards sold, I think I've sold 99.6% of what the store has sold in the past year, and as far as the state, I'm gonna guess like 40% overall. It's a lot still, if I haven't already gassed myself up enough or whatever. But why not train that person? Why not take them and like do things? Why not have that person train other people and do all these other things, you know? And they've like joked about it. They're like, you know, maybe next year we'll do that. I'm like, okay, well, if next year I'm already working with a different company, then you've lost your chance, you know? Sorry, not sorry. But like, either hurry up and get me out of here because I hate the customers, or I don't know. Like, I doubt they're going to be able to match the salary that I'm going to be getting from this other job, but man, like, they could be doing at least just the tiniest bit more to try to retain any shred of talent that they have in this company. Like, overall, I feel like exporting goods, it's not a bad place to work. For what it's worth, the location of my store is in one of the lower crime rates. Like, for as much as I complain, I feel like other stores have way more to complain about. But even something like my boss said recently, some of the other stores, they just like don't vacuum the place. Like, they understand that they have control over the experience and they do nothing about it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, please apply this logic to yourself right now. Like, you have control over my experience. You could say like, oh hey, I'm gonna actually like value you and the other people, whatever. But then we just choose not to, and we wonder why people have mental health issues when they feel like the world's filled with robots who don't give a shit about anything other than themselves. Like me, selfish robot here, killing the entire population of the sand zone. So I think I got all the life capsules so far. I'm just trying to not die here because I'm a little lower on HP than I'd like to be, and I'm not popping my life pot yet. I do the life pot. One of the other videos I was gonna make is more of a like, hey, this is another event kind of thing, but it was the best way I can describe it was, oh, he just dies. I've never seen that animation before. Funny enough, despite playing this game a lot. Like both his legs, and then he just pops. It always makes me wonder, like, if you had something in a game that was so low probability that nobody sees it, would anyone, like, know that this extra work was put in? That was super risky. They call me Mr. Risky. I'm surprised I made that. I'm not going in there yet, because I gotta save, beat the boss fight right after, and see, you actually get one of the coolest weapons in the game after this. It's called one of my favorite parts, called the Labyrinth. And we're almost on our hour mark here of me yapping, so be sure to unsubscribe and drop a dislike, tell me how disillusioned I am. Please. Somebody tell me that it's bad to think all these things. I don't know. Originally I was gonna actually like record this with my sister tonight because she's back from college and stuff, but then she didn't want to, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, we're here. I gotta at least record this myself, and that's what it's been. It's just been me, myself, and I the entire time till I die, whatever. The red flowers. Oh no. He's evil because he has white eyes. He's Herobrine for... I am Steve. Okay, yeah, first I going with that, something event, yeah. So that customer that was giving me a hard time the other night, you know when people, like, you can just tell they're confrontational for, like, literally no reason, they just kind of feel like it. Also, this box with a lot of damage. Oh boy, no. It's so funny that you spawn golden flowers, Flowey the flower. Can you stop jumping? Can you just sit still, please? Please. I love... There's so much RNG in this fight. The only consistent way I found to do this is basically you sit in the wall over to the left here and just kind of sit inside the boss, because I think the bricks do more damage than she does. I love killing my neighbors. Oh, please. This is probably the most scuffed fight I've had. I think also in Boss Rush, whenever I did this would actually be the fight I'd reset on, because there wasn't a consistent way of me doing it until either I literally looked it up, or... I can't remember. Yeah, earlier when I was like, I haven't looked anything up with this game, that was the original game, when they added stuff, and like there's like the race course and all this other cool stuff. I had to look up some of the strats for those, because I'm just like, okay, well, there's always ways to improve time. I went into them blind, but... yeah, so, you got where I'm going with this. Yeah, that customer that gave me a hard time, absolute fireball of a person, and, I was trying to make her life easier. I was like, hey, I know you're trying to split stuff between transactions, you want to reuse this coupon. She's actually asked me, she was like, can you print out 2 coupons for this? And I'm like, it says on the coupon, one per customer. And just, whatever. The lengths people would go to save, like, extra money, and I don't blame them in this economy, honestly, but don't harass people in retail over it. Point is, I was like, hey, maybe you're overcomplicating this a bit. If you want, I can, like, combine these things and try to find some way to consolidate it, whatever. And I don't know how it went from that to her saying, if you're not competent enough to do your job, have someone else do that. But between that and her being overall, I don't know if frisky's the right word, but, being an awful person, I'm gonna say. I was just kind of pissed off. So I was over the radio and I was like, hey, dearest co-workers, this is not my problem anymore. Have fun. She's at the front. Good luck. I'm going on my break. I will... whatever. I just wanted to leave then, and honestly, I am... like, if I were to get fired tomorrow, I'm not sure I would give 2 shits anymore, because I also can tell how little I'm valued by my boss in particular, and everything else going on, and also just, I hate the holidays, I hate people, and this and that, and blah blah blah. Whiny 21-year-old. The crickets. The roach. I think the level 1, like, this is such a cool weapon, because it's got such huge versatility. Like, you can use it long range, you can use it short range, and it does a lot more damage. Depending on the level, although level 3 you actually don't want, because while it is cool, it's kind of suboptimal. I'm gonna see if I can do a skip here in a minute, so... let's not do that. So if you go in here, you can get a weapon called the Snake from the guy at the counter, but I don't want to do that yet, or at all. And maybe it's a little bit faster for the health section of the game, but like, I'm here for damage, that's about it. The spur is my go-to weapon. Oh my gosh, I'm taking so much damage. Please save me. Please save me. Oh my gosh. Oh, look at all the hearts. We're fine. You're totally fine. Stop freaking out. But yeah, so when my boss was showing me out there today, he was like, "You left the front end because you know, the customer," and I'm like, "You realize she was also trying to get my name and like leave all these bad reviews about the store, whatever. Like, if someone else hadn't stepped in, I think this would have been way worse." And to quote one of my other coworkers, he's like, "Hey, just give her the same respect that she's giving to you back to her." And I'm like, "And you think this would have been any better?" Oh my gosh. I'm probably doing a horrible job explaining this, but it's also like 12:35 a.m. Just trust me when I say there's a lot of entitled women in this world. That's really unfortunate too, because like, as someone who wants to hopefully end up with a woman, there's the pool is pretty slim as far as the ones that want to end up with. I mean, maybe we're too complicated this generation or whatever, but I feel like that shouldn't be something too hard to out. Did I want to do that? No, actually, okay, I can still do this. Hold on. I want to bait this guy. This, shoot twice. Because you can damage boost off him, and it's been a while since I've done it. To get the thing back there. Dang it, I almost did that. But if you're able to do that, you get a thing that reduces the leveling penalty from weapons. I also remember there's a specific way to do that. I don't want to spend... I think if I fail this next attempt, I'm going to give up on it. Okay, yeah, I'm giving up on that. Okay. Anyways, yeah, regardless, it was one of those things where my boss was like, you know, I've done this longer than you have. I'm sure I know more about this. And I'm like, okay, maybe you do, you know. But, I'm not gonna let people just do that. Oh, well, we died. Wow, that's kind of a first. Maybe a first. Oh, I think I remember how to do this skip. You gotta shoot one of the projectiles out of the air if you're doing this right. Oh, or just do that. Okay. Me overcomplicating something wouldn't be the first. And look, I'm inside the timer, guys. The arms barrier, that's cool. But yeah, so you think as someone who like kind of went to school for engineering, I would like to work with customers that are like robotic, that don't really care about people, that have a very easily defined interest set, which is quite simply just them themselves and nobody else. But you know, I kind of hate it too. And especially like the worst part, she was doing this in front of her daughter. And the customer after her actually came back in literally just to check on me because he was like, yeah, that's like unacceptable, pretty much. I'm thinking if... I'm sure John already heard about that part too, because like my coworkers saw that and they're like, no way it was actually that bad. And I'm like, yeah, that's what he was there to do, because it really was that bad. But regardless, my boss is my boss, and I feel like everyone's got that boss they hate or whatever. I wouldn't blame people for hating me for all the YouTube stuff I do, but we're trying the best we can, you know? This is a ghoul. He is a ghoul. Oh, and that will damage you after he dies. Lovely. And then I need to heal her. I must heal the Philippines, or whatever that means. Please leave the rest of me. You gotta talk to her a little bit, I think, for flagging reasons. Doing this extra times because I remember this causing problems in the future. Yeah, it sucks. And it's something I thought about too. I'm like, man, when am I actually going to put my 2 weeks in? Because like, it's probably gonna happen eventually at this point. I don't have a good opinion of this job, this lifestyle, waking up, and like, the problem with me lately has been I don't want to show up to work on time because I don't want to be at work. And I'm sure my boss knows this too, but one of the reasons I do want to sit down is I'm like, hey, you've noticed that I've been a little bit late, and this has been a burden to my other short-tempered coworkers. Consider everything else going on, and maybe it'll make that much more sense, you know? It's been a ride and a half between that and even the fact that I'm here in the first place. Like, my mom's whole thing is she's like, your salvation is what matters most to me. And I'm like, okay, that's cool and all, but also, like, you know, when you had me, like, said you wanted me out of the house, you thought I'm useless and all sort of, forever you treat me like I'm, you know, retarded, to say the dream slur, if we will. And, you know, like, we went through all this, and I'm not able to really go to church because I'm working most Sundays because my boss says that is what I ought to be doing because he needs me to do it. And is the world backwards? Am I backwards? I need this right. I doubt I'm gonna two-cycle him here. It'd be really cool if I did. Also not, like, min-maxing this exactly. If he's really close, maybe out of bounds. Big thing. Okay, that was the third cycle. This is another boss that I'd reset on boss rush if I didn't do it properly. So, yeah. Like, there's another funny thing. There's a video I made a while ago. It's called Nicknames, and it was one of the videos that blew up. And I'm like, I think this was literally one of those videos where I just wasn't feeling like recording it, but I did it anyways. And it was Henry Stickmin, and people love that so much that they apparently click on any video they see. I'm like, this is a garbage video. Oh, did I make that first try? That's pixel perfect, by the way. I think maybe it's like 2 or 3 pixels with fiber. I'm just gonna flag that correctly, because otherwise you wouldn't be here, and then you have to go back and do the jump and all that. One thing my boss says is he's like, you're like a ninja, the way you like move around and you can do all these things, you can task. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Some days it feels like I'm a ninja at a party of drunks. And, you know, I'm subservient to a man-child some days. Are you listening to me at all? And then you can run backward. Oh, I didn't do it right. You can run backwards and throw the sword at him like that, kind of. It sticks out a little bit behind him when you're running backwards. I'm like not at all doing the remotely good strategies here. These iframes. Jeez. Okay, this leaves me with like no HP for the next section, which is like not the worst thing in the world, but you don't get a heal here, I don't think. But so we are reaching probably about the halfway point in the run. I'm not sure I'm gonna finish the thing tonight. That was kind of the plan, obviously, but plans are great. I guess this is powered up. Yay! Cool. So last thing to talk about, recently I was working, so I've been working on the other channel and trying to renovate things, whatever. But one of the big things was I had another artist kind of reach out to me and he's like, hey, I could work on this, I could do this. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's really cool. So he wanted like $200 for stuff. I'm like, okay, sure, I can do that, whatever. Furry art isn't exactly cheap. And all that. But it was a little weird, I guess. And I'll probably make a video about that tomorrow, going in more in depth about that. Especially when people, like, number one red flag to me is when people are like, oh, did you go do this right now? You can do this right now. Like, scan, like, that's a big, like, no bueno. Also, it's one of the reasons to not actually get the thing that reduces the XP loss, because if you don't want level 3, then you're stuck with level 3. Oh my gosh, am I gonna die here? Oh my gosh, I definitely shouldn't be dying here, but awesome though. Go Curly, go Curly, go Curly. Kill him. Thank you. Much appreciated. Grab the hearts, and we're on our way. Why the level 3 sucks? Okay, we're fine, kind of. The next part's not as bad, usually. There's also a part that you can kind of farm for hearts if you need them, which I might do here, because wow, I got no heart drops at the bottom. What a world. Please give me heart drops. I would love to give heart drops. That's one. Oh my gosh, I'm already getting negative value on that. Almost. If that one didn't drop a heart, that would be negative value. But so when people try to speed things along, and art, and they're just, like, you can just tell when someone's probably gonna scam you. And I wouldn't even be disappointed if I got scammed, because, like, I feel like the way I handled that was probably the most professional thing I've ever done, just because people are like, dude, you can't send me another $400. I'm like, yeah, no, I can't. Nice try, buddy. But, like, I don't know if it was, like, pretending to be a victim or whatever, but it more so, like, pretending to be sorry for something that I know that if anyone should be pissed off, it should be me, not him. Because people are like, oh, you don't want to move things along this fast? And I'm like, okay, we'll do the first thing first, and then we can do the second thing, you know? Like, there's a part of life, and I feel like I even offered some pretty decent life advice. I actually jumped that and made that no way. Also, how did I get back to 20 HP? Are we gonna talk about that? Like, parts spawned out of nowhere, I guess. Specifically for playing the game, you would buy, like, get the machine gun from Curly, and do this with, like, the machine gun, and not garbage polar, whatever this thing is, Polar Star, I think. We're doing this the fun way. What's these guys do? 1 damage. Give it up for 1 damage. Also, it's funny to me how this, like, the background works, like, that missile there is, like, kind of behind the wall. Also, I'm so glad no hearts dropped within reach there. Amazing. But yeah, I think I'm not going to try to talk about that. I'll save that for tomorrow night's video. But yeah, so my sister being back from college, she's sick right now or whatever too, which probably contributes to that whole not wanting to do stuff. But maybe she'll be around for winter break. Probably not. Maybe we'll just play games when it won't be recorded, because people don't want to do stuff on YouTube, which I'm totally fine with. I just think it's cooler if, like, hey, here's a project I've been working on. What do you think? Hopefully you don't hate me still from childhood, right? I did do heinous things back in childhood, right? Right. Kind of funny. There was anything about telling the story, but I just want to tell it now. It's kind of funny too, because recently this exact same person I'm thinking of actually showed up at the store. There's a summer camp that I used to go to, and I had a lot of fun. It was called Dream Sports back in the day. Now it's called like Sports World XL. And I love rollerblading, I love Foursquare, I liked all the things. I had a favorite coach, his name was Coach Jimmy, and he made us do insane amounts of like warm-ups. We're talking like, if you know what a suicide is, it's not the demonetize me please YouTube thing, it's the when you run a gosh, it's like a quarter of the field and half the field, then 3/4 of the field, then the full field, and you do that like over and over and over again. You'd make us do like 15 of those as like a warm-up. Like, man, I was like top-notch warm-up enthusiast, we'll say. And the story's not about him, though, or about any other fun things. Although I've got plenty of fun stories from that summer camp. Also, before I forget, I'm gonna go grab the tow rope, because this is important for the true ending, if you believe that. I think my time here is gonna be 2 hours. I'm not recording for 2 hours. I get it, I'm Mr. YouTuber, long recording, streaming. There's not much, I'm not that entertaining of a person. Like, the story's gonna end soon, you know? So be prepared to click off the video, click on your next brain rot for tonight. Anyways, at the summer camp, I was a bit of a twit. I was, not exactly the best person, but I was like the boy. I was like, no girls allowed, even though when I was doing that was with a girl. Her name was Brooke, and probably one of my absolute favorite personalities back in the day. I just thought she was great. Also, I should be doing this the funny strat. So if you're ever doing this on hard mode and you specifically can't take damage because I think you're stuck on 3 HP there, there's a really easy strat for it, and it is literally just having Curly do everything. Yeah, the further back you go, this thing kind of tends to travel with you, so you can just play to your advantage with that. Just try not to meet an important demise here. Also don't like how RNG-based the freaking thing sort is. Oh, I guess he's out of missiles. This is the fun part here, where he's going to launch 3 orbs, 2, 3. Those each do like 20 damage each, something ridiculous. Yeah, hard mode, you're locked on 3 HP. Also, the song's called A Pressure. It's one of the hardest things in OST. Would recommend. Yeah, so I was a bit of a twit back into those summer camps, and I don't know. I feel like my sister didn't really get along with me after that, but I'd also been a bit of a prankster or whatever the rest of my life. Also, the screen sharing seems really bad now. I'm seeing like the lines just popping up. I don't know if it's when I'm hitting Z or if there's any relation to that. I really should have actually upgraded my missiles. It's too bad I just didn't focus on that. I was busy keeping myself alive there. Orbs. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I was about to say, if I try to jump there, I'm gonna get screwed over. Yeah. Rail in the corner. Oh my gosh, okay, I'm sorry about this much fireball there, because it does like 2 more damage than 4 star. Which actually makes a big difference if you're talking the difference between 4 and 6. That's like a 50% damage increase. But I guess since summer camp, whatever, whether like middle school, elementary school, whatever. I don't know. I've done my best to sort of reconcile with her. We've sort of also reconciled over a mutual, I feel like, disdain for some of the stuff our mom does. But I don't know. Also, this is the part where we drown. Gotta love that. I think all that said, thank you for watching tonight's sad reality. I'm finally out of words. It's been a week between car crash, all the boss, and all that fun stuff. I will keep people posted. All 5 people that watch this YouTube channel. Thank you for the 16 subscribers that decided that I'm worth your time, I guess. I forgot to pick up Curly Brace. Can I get back to you, please? I can. There we go. Yeah, so thank you so much for sticking around. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your nights. Maybe I'll finish this another night. And I will see you in tomorrow's sad reality, maybe. Have a good one, y'all.